Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Masters in Fitness Business podcast, where you get to stand on the shoulders of giants, if I can speak today. And today we have a giant in the form of Missy Muller. She runs Dun Fitness in Middletown, Delaware, and they've been open since 2014, September 2014. Opened up with 3,200 square feet. Then in October 2019, they expanded to 6,400 square feet. That's a big club, Missy. And they have about 160 members and with an average EFT of about 150 per member. So, and we're going to get into her story because she runs these programs that basically bring in a lot of revenue over the short term, keeps her business afloat, and basically saved her business. So, definitely want to get into the details of that. But welcome to the show, Missy.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for agreeing to come on the show. I met Missy in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania at the STS meeting there and was just asking her some questions and became really intrigued with some of the answers she gave me. So I always intended to reach out and have you on the show. So my first question, I always like to kind of scratch my own itch right off the bat. Dun Fitness. What does
Everybody
that mean?
has to ask. Just like you asked your kids, is it done or is it done? Are you really finished?
Okay, got it.
You're done.
Okay, awesome. Okay, and then you came up with that name yourself?
Yeah, I've always said it since I started training. I mean, I'm training for 22 years now, so it's something I've always said, so it seemed like a realistic name to go to.
Okay, got it. All right, awesome. So now let's get into, I know when we talked before briefly, you talked about there was a kind of a backstory, kind of the rags to riches. It's like all these TV shows from the Titan Games to Ninja Warrior. Everybody has their tragic backstory, you know, that to endear them to the fans. So, and I know you have one as well. So my first question is how did you get into fitness? What made you open up Dun Fitness? And how did that all start?
So I actually started as an exercise science major whose focus was going to be cardiac rehab. Once I got into cardiac rehab, I couldn't handle the day-to-day of it. I was just doing the same thing, heart rate all day. I just couldn't take it. So I got into fitness. I actually started out as a fitness director when I was in West Virginia. And then since then, I have switched into, I've done personal training. I've been directors. When I moved to the Middletown area, there was such a need here. The previous gym that I worked at, we kept talking about Middletown being the new hotspot, that it was growing at 200%. So it seemed like a realistic area to get into. Once we opened up, we grew a little too quickly. As you said, we started our first year in September. By October the following year, we doubled our space. And we were getting about 200 clients at that time as well. We literally grew way too fast. We had those growing pains. At that point, we started going through a partnership breakup. We started out as a partnership in January.
Before you get to that, when you say you grew too fast, what does that mean? Were you not scaled to handle the client load, or what does that mean?
We didn't have all the systems in place. That being the biggest problem. And also, I just didn't realize there was such a need. So we started out on a little cheaper of an end. Running some of the short-term programs that were just quick fixes. It didn't always even have the sales system in place as well afterwards, because there was nothing in Middletown but 2 gyms, and they're your basic 24-hour gyms, a Snap Fitness or along those kind of lines. There was really no personal training in this area, so we brought home, into the area something that nobody else had seen.
Okay.
Yeah, and even finding trainers. I was working 5 a.m. till 8 p.m. every day. 6 days a week. So that took its toll as well.
Yeah. So you were tired, you were burnt out. And then like when you say you didn't have systems in place, like where were some of the gaps? Where were some of the most glaring gaps that wind up hurting you the most?
Trainers not up to speed. This area doesn't have many trainers as well. So a lot of them will come in basically in college still and then move on to physical therapy. So even that quick turnover, as soon as you get one train, one was leaving and then another one was coming in. That was part of the problem there. And then not having a sales team. There was no one really front desk wise that was handling sales. I was handling sales, designing the programs and training myself.
Okay. So you were overwhelmed and you were the bottleneck.
Exactly.
So how did that impact the business?
I think just because I was burned out physically and mentally, that slowed down the business. And then the staff turnover, I think I was part of the reason the staff was turning over as quick as it was by not having new systems in place.
Gotcha. Okay. And then you wind up losing clients as a result too.
Exactly.
Okay. Because you didn't have your shit together, basically.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was
So
like a perfect storm.
What's that?
It was like a perfect storm all at one time. Everything pretty much happened at one time.
Yeah, but I think especially with independent studios, I think that's pretty common. I really do. I know we had the same issues when we first opened up. Again, we were something new. People had never seen it before. They came flocking in. My monthly revenue went from, and then I hired Tim Lyons to do some of the marketing for me. And that was back in the glory days of Facebook marketing. So we were getting 20, 30 people at a time. We have a 3,000 square foot club. So 20, 30 people at one shot is a lot for us to handle. And we weren't scaled for it. We didn't have a system to follow up on leads. We didn't have just so many systems. And our revenue went from 25,000 a month to over 50,000 a month. I'm like, oh, this is easy. What is everybody talking about? It's so hard about business. I'm crushing it. But then we didn't have the systems in place, and it really bit us in the ass. And we're still recovering from it from this day, till this day. So yeah, I totally get it. How you just kind of, you go in with a passion, going in with those technician lenses, not thinking about business and systems and scaling and all of those things. And then all of a sudden you get the business and you're not ready for it. Yeah. And I don't think a lot of people prepare for that. At least trainers that open up their own spots, they don't prepare for that. And then it winds up, it can kill your business. So was that pretty much what you experienced?
Pretty much. I mean, luckily I was a part of the Results Fitness University at that time. So that was a little bit of a saving grace. Still, if you're short-staffed, you're short-staffed. Just after the buyout process with the partnership started happening, we had 80 clients, brand new clients, come in all at one time for a Beachbody boot camp, a 6-week program. I lost 3 trainers that had moved out of the area. My full-time manager left, and my massage therapist left. So this all literally happened within 4 days of the start of the boot camp. So it was a little bit interesting, you could say the least. But you didn't really have that culture there either.
Yeah, that's some sleepless nights.
I don't know if the system can even prepare you for something like that. I think it was a little bit of a growing pain, learning curve, maybe.
Yeah, but like you alluded to, I think the systems help create the culture, because culture is such an ambiguous word. Yeah. So I like to really define it, nail it down. And when I say culture, I mean specific behaviors are happening with your clients, with your employees, and they're bought in, they're on board. So when they're talking to clients, they're saying we, not they, things like that. So those are the specific behaviors that I look for when I say culture. And if you don't have those systems, those onboarding systems and systems to do just simple things like, what does a training session look like with a client? What's your checklist, things like that, then it makes it really, really, the culture becomes random instead of cultured and choreographed. So then it doesn't take root, so it becomes kind of almost like a fly by night kind of thing.
Agreed.
So did you find that true with you?
100%, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So now you had this perfect storm, you had a great business going, and then all of a sudden, shit starts to fall apart. So, and then you had the partner breakup. So walk the listeners through that.
Just all at the same time. So you basically just try to keep your head above water to get through that time frame. Luckily, it kind of led into a summer time frame, which I know this area, everybody disappears to the beach for the summer. So you do get a little bit of a break in there. And it was basically just about rebuilding. Even during that time frame, we did fire some clients as well. Maybe they weren't a good fit for us, and we weren't a good fit for them, because it does. Once you get back to that culture, you have a bad apple in there. Sometimes that'll start spreading itself to other areas of your business. So it was time for some of those clients to leave, unfortunately. I think it was, better for them and better for us. And then Fit in 42, I'd actually met Casey at the mastermind for Results Fitness. And we talked a lot about Fit in 42. And I believe that was in October of 2016.
Casey is always selling. He lives by the ABCs, always be closing.
Yeah.
He's always selling, Okay.
Interesting enough, that day, I didn't feel like he was selling me. I didn't actually think he was even going to. I was actually surprised.
That's why he's such a good salesman.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel like he's selling you. He feels like he's testifying, witnessing to you.
Exactly.
He's like a Jehovah's Witness of Fit in 42.
Yeah. And interesting enough, during that same time, I had my partner with me, and then I also had another trainer at the mastermind. And we're all fit side conversations. And as I'm talking to Casey, my girlfriend and other trainer were talking about my health to some of the other, masterminds. So by that point, I was pushing 200 pounds, out of shape. So that was also becoming the perfect storm, because I was living off of caffeine. I was living off of protein shakes and then food at night, 8 o'clock at night, go back to sleep, no sleep. You sleep 2-3 hours a night.
Yeah. Because your cortisol and hormones are all out of whack. And it's funny to me. I always find it so ironic. Like, I know when I started my business, I poured myself into my business so much that I was in the worst shape of my life.
Yep.
And I'm a lifelong, like, I've been training for like 40 years myself. And so I'm a lifelong fitness guy. And then when I wasn't even living my own message, I'm like, hold on a second, something's wrong here. So you were going through the same thing, because you were working, morning and noon and night. You were probably exhausted, like you said, fueling yourself with caffeine. And then that's like going on a credit card shopping spree. That bill just keeps bigger and bigger, and you think, oh, I'll pay it someday, but it keeps racking up. You keep getting further and further down behind the 8 ball from an adrenal standpoint. And shit just really starts, and you find yourself, like, at least I found myself waking up going, how the fuck did I get here? What is going on here? And then struggling to find that reset point. So a lot of questions I want to unpack, but my first one is, so where did you, and for me, it wasn't so much finding the reset point, it was setting a reset point.
Yeah.
So where did you finally decide to set that reset point? It's like, this is the line in the sand, starting here, now, at this moment, I'm going to what?
Yep, that is actually that exact day. So I talked to, her name was Jackie, that was also at the mastermind. And it was like, text me Monday morning, you're going to work out. So that's from that point on. And then I also started the Fit in 42, because I committed to starting it in January, but I wanted to take myself through the process.
Okay.
I think that's the best way. If you're going to sell something, first off, know what you're going to be selling. And I come from, probably close to 20 years of some colon issues. And I even discovered some of those things along the lines too, the other things I was allergic to. I tend to be allergic to the world, unfortunately. So I learned some of that as well, some new things.
Yeah.
Basically what the client's going to go through, what the workouts are going to feel like, what the food's going to feel like, what they're going to feel 14 days in, 7 days in, by the end of it. I'm 45 pounds lighter now. So those kind of feelings, you kind of you see what they're going through. There's a struggle there. Working out's not easy. Food's not easy. We know it.
So that's interesting. So you had a client's perspective, so it makes it easier for you to sell it to the client, and also take the client through it.
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha. And then were you
my own demons as well? I suffer from depression, so I can relate to some of those clients that come in with depression, anxiety. Doing things like this give me anxiety. Dealing with those kind of things, you kind of give a little firsthand on what the client's perspective is going to be.
Yeah, and I find, because my wife she's a functional nutritionist. Okay. So what I find is that when you have a leaky gut, like when you eat like crap, sleep like crap, get a bunch of caffeine, you're stressed out, your cortisol levels are through the roof constantly, you start to get into that adrenal fatigue spiral, then your immune system goes haywire, starts feeding on itself, and then you wind up with all these weird allergy and autoimmune and digestive issues. And then that has a direct effect on your mood, your energy levels, your sleep. your glucose tolerance, your ability to, it makes it easier for you to get fatter, makes it harder for you to sleep, brings about depression, all of those things. It affects so many things. And so when you start to change all that, it's like a cascade of benefits that you get from it, like all of these peripheral and collateral benefits that you didn't see coming. But I'm going to get off my soapbox because this is about business. And I want to go back to, to what you said, you had to fire some clients. So I've had several guests on the podcast that talked about it's important for the owner, for the business owner to know what they do best and who they want to do it with. So how did you come to the realization that these were bad clients that you had to fire? And what does your perfect client look like?
In that case, it was one of those things that we just sat down with the client and kind of went back and forth of what their issue was and some of our issues. It is one of those things that you come in, if you have bad energy, first off, you're going to come in, that bad energy is going to spread to other people. We want this to be somebody's, third place, their work, home, and their third place. We hear that all the time in fitness. It's not easy. So who wants to come in and sit beside or work out beside somebody who's miserable? As soon as you walk in the door, they're just bitching about whatever, their home life, their husband, whatever it may be, their work situation. We want it to be their happy place. We want to have a good time, but then there also has to be that line. You have to know why you're here.
Right. Okay. And then what does your perfect client look like?
Middle-aged women, that menopausal women age. Our average is actually pushing up a little bit higher now. We used to say 45. We're hitting right around 50 now. And we've got a huge influx of 60 plus. I think we've got 8 or 9 clients now that are 70 plus. So it's kind of cool. It's really cool to see that. And that's since 42. I don't know if it's our marketing or if it's just our referral base now, because we still sit about 90% referral base.
Okay. And then that was my next question. What is it about what you do that you think appeals to that demographic?
The results, the caring. I think you have to put a lot of heart into it. I definitely pour all my heart into Fit in 42. So getting to know them, knowing what's going on at home, what's going to trigger them, what's going to, get the results that they need. Do they need the support with their food? Do they need that emotional support? Do they need, hey, we're here for you. A little tap on the back sometimes can take somebody a long ways. A lot of females. I'll just stereotype a little bit there. They might not be getting that support at home.
Okay.
Because they generally come in last place because they're taking care of kids, families, work. They do it. Majority of our clients are working, so that's another. Yeah.
And they've been putting their mask on. They haven't been putting their mask on first for a long time. Exactly. So you're there to kind of encourage them to put their mask on first. This is their time. This is time to take care of you. You don't have an infinite amount of time to do this. Exactly. Clock is ticking, all of those things.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. All right. So my next question is that, since you identified the lack of systems and you weren't ready to scale, what have you done to change that?
Fit in 42 did a lot of that for us. We had some growing pains there as well. Just as far as who's going to do what, but we definitely tackled down what needed to be changed. We had the sales things in place, but we needed somebody to follow through with those. We don't have that right person. And reorganizing as well. All of our staff that we currently have, except for one, have been former clients. They kind of get the process. They know what it feels like to be here, what the culture is like.
Okay.
I think that helps out a little bit because even our trainers were former clients, and they've worked their way up, whether they started as a client to front desk to a trainer or from a client to a trainer perspective.
That's interesting. So you started onboarding them as clients.
Exactly.
And so they got indoctrinated to the culture. So they just naturally kind of flow into that stream.
Exactly.
Okay. So what does your staff look like now? Walk us through the roles.
So we have 4 trainers. I'm one of the 4. Actually, one of our trainers just got certified at the beginning of the year. So we have a new, she's one of our newest. We have somebody who was formerly a client, started working part-time for us, and now she's taking an office manager role in the evenings. And then one of our trainers is also more responsible for the evening training. I try to avoid the evenings at all possible. And then we have 2 part-time front desk staff as well, because we do AM shifts and then PM shifts. We close in the middle of the day.
Okay. Yeah.
And that was harder. I think we had too many training sessions. We were giving clients too many options. So we trimmed that fat away as well, and cut back on some of the training times.
Okay. So, and like, give me an example. What are the times that you dropped?
10:30, 11:30 in the morning. So we used to have 1 client, and we'd have to have 2 staff here for that 1 client.
Okay.
Then they were one of our beginning clients, so they're paying very, very little for what they were paying for. That was one of our semi-private times. And that was one of our changes as well. We dropped from semi-private to small group because it seems that clients want that energy. And the energy with the semi-privates I find hard to keep up.
Yeah, especially when
the trainers as well. I think the small group makes it way easier on the trainers because then they know what modification needs to be made, but they have that workout sheet right there. And that was part of Fit in 42 that I think assisted too with that process.
Okay, got it. So you kind of cut back on your expenses, cut back on the time slots, kind of train your clients to train when you wanted them to train.
Exactly.
And then you'd already, onboarded your staff.
Right.
Okay. All right. And so, my next question is just curiosity, because I'm like you in that I have a day manager and an evening manager, and I try to avoid the evenings because I get here sometimes at 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
And to train at 5 at night is a long fucking day.
So
how do you make sure that the quality is up to your standards in the evening?
That was one of my concerns. And actually it's our veteran trainer that's been around. She's been training for 2 years now. I still come around some in the evenings, but it's not one of those things that I come around all the time. Mm-hmm. We do have a weekly or a monthly staff meeting with the trainers to go over the workouts and make sure it's happening with that one. And with our newest trainer, was interning a little bit in the evenings, also bringing some of that energy, bringing some new blood as well. Because that's one of the things we've changed recently is the trainers are always swapping out training sessions. They're not always just doing the large group. They're doing small group this day, and then maybe Friday they're going to do our Suns Out, Guns Out, and Monday's metabolic. So they're always getting a little bit of a change as well too, because I think the trainers are getting a little burned out doing the same training session all night. Mm-hmm. For example, last night Megan did 3:30, 4:30, 5:15, and 6. So every 45 minutes she was doing that same workout. That's
okay.
I'll come around on a Monday night and try to help out a little bit too.
Okay, gotcha. And then how many hours are you training now?
Oh, that's a loaded question. I'm going to say probably still around 30 hours. I do all the mornings, Monday through Friday.
Okay.
Yeah. So from like 4:30 till 10:30 in the morning.
Okay. And then are you open on weekends?
We are, just on Saturdays though. Sunday's rest day for everybody, especially me.
Okay, awesome. All right. So then Fit in 42 helped put some of the systems in place for you. And then you got your staff on board to kind of, so you could take some of your hats off and kind of focus on what you like and what you're good at.
Yes.
So walk us through, like, what does your sales process look like from either a referral, a lead? Like when you first get that lead, walk us through the sales process. What does it look like for you?
So we're pretty much referral based. I haven't looked at the numbers this month or last month, but I'm pretty sure we're still staying close to 90% referral base. So they'll come in, they'll have their strategy session right away. On occasion, if they come with it as a bring a friend, we'll allow them to work out, and then we'll schedule that session right after, for another day in that same week. I treat everybody like a Fit in 42 when they're coming in. So I'm really digging in there to their reasons why they want to work out. Just don't tell me you want to lose weight. Tell me the reason why. Do you want to be there for your kids? Do you want to see that smile on their face? Do you want to, personal for me, it was health reasons. My dad had his first heart attacks in his 40s. I'm 42. I don't want to have that same exact issue. So figuring out what their reasons are and the why. And then from there, we put them in. We do either a 14-day, depending on what they come in on. We do 14-day or a 30-day VIP. And that they're getting that month for free. Or we do a paid 21-day, $59 trial so they can test. I call it a test drive. I think a lot of fitness industry is still going to that test drive mode. And then
Okay.
we're following up. Everybody gets assigned to a trainer. So let's say you're going to come in the PM time slot. You're going to work, you're going to be assigned to Megan. And she's going to be checking in you after your first session, after your first week, second week, and then follow up. And then our evening manager and myself are following up as far as signing the clients up at that point. At the end of the trial.
So what does that conversion campaign look like when you're trying to convert them from a trial to a member?
We just sit right down with them. At that point, are you going to take it or leave it? I think you've already established either you're going to like it at this point or you're not going to like it. The first day, the first strategy session, we sit down and we give them the price points. I go over all the price points. Here's what training, if you want to do this training program, it's this. And if you want to add a small group, it's $249. If you want to stay at the team training, it's $149. So they know right up front what that rate's going to be. And I think in that time frame, even 2 weeks, you should know.
Yeah.
If you're around or not.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you sell them the VIP or when you sell them on the trial, do you include the small group in the trial?
Yeah, we give them one time a week.
Okay.
So you give them twice a week, but we found it was, I don't want to say wasting the trainer's time, but they weren't converting at a high rate on that. That's our almost a 0% conversion on twice a week small group. So we just give them once a week.
So was the conversion rate higher at once a week?
Yes. Well, compared to twice a week, yes. But compared to the team training, the large group, that's our biggest conversion.
Okay.
I think we're sitting at like 134 members, I think, are team training members. So very small rate are going small group. Okay.
All right. And then when I met you in Bethlehem, you were saying that you were telling me about your Fit in 42 numbers, and you told me the thing that struck me, you said it saved our business.
Yes.
So walk us through that.
The biggest thing with that is they're with you for 6 weeks. You're diving in. You're getting to know everything about them, what's going to motivate them, what's happening. You're really changing their life. And if you can go in there and you can get them to lose, 15 pounds, or one of our clients was in the program just because she knew she was going to have a double mastectomy at the end of Fit in 42. She knew she had breast cancer. So you're changing that person's life in that 6 weeks. You don't even have to sell them. They're going to convert right into the membership. They've already built into your program and your life, or into your gym. It just makes it a little bit easier. It's not a short-term lose as much as possible, and then you may not see them again. I think when we used to do those type of programs, you really have to sell it at the end of it. Maybe they had an unrealistic idea in their head that they were going to lose 30 pounds, 40 pounds, whatever it may be. Fit in 42, we're actually establishing what they need to do. What's next? Our week 5 seminars, what's next? Where do we go from here? What foods do we incorporate? How many days a week are you going to work out? What's going to keep you going? Who's going to be your accountability partner?
Yeah.
Can't always be us.
Yeah. All right. Okay, Casey. Then you sound like Casey Warshak there. But so from a business, from just a money standpoint, what impact did it have on your business?
They're paying $1,000 for that 6 weeks. A little bit higher return than when we were running a boot camp for $99 for 6 weeks. So just that income alone. But then also once they build that culture, then they start referring people. So that return, that's a big one for us too. We started generating a lot of leads from Fit in 42 because people are getting these amazing results. Everybody wants to be a part of something as well. And it's the premium. They want to be a part of something that's the luxury club.
Gotcha. So about what's the average number of people you get per Fit in 42?
We stay right around 20. We've had a couple that have been 24. This one, we actually have tried a little different system with, because we have some alumni that are going back through. 17 alumni, and then we have 9 brand new Fit in 42ers this time around.
So you have 20 people in there, so that's 20 grand?
Yep, right there.
Wow, yeah, that's a big cash influx.
Yeah, so that enabled me to do the buyout. That's why I say that saved the gym, because I was basically just going to have to walk away from it. It was at that point in 2017. I was like, it was a choice. Either I was going to make that change or I was going to have to just fold under the money cap. Yeah.
Yeah.
And because we were losing clients like crazy at that point as well, just the stress of everything. And I wasn't as involved in the training program as I should have been as well. My focus was there, basically.
Yeah, and you taking your eye off the ball, so to speak.
Exactly.
You had all that stuff going on, which is understandable. So you get 20 people paying you $1,000, so a $20,000 chunk coming in that month. That's huge.
Yeah.
And then when you say you're 90% referral based, so out of those 20 people, how many referrals are you averaging per month?
I wouldn't say per month. Per session, we're getting about 8, which has been increasing. We've noticed just since our last September Fit in 42 that those numbers are getting a little bit higher. Just this one, we've actually had 3 members refer somebody else in just during this session. Actually, just this week too.
All right. So from those 20, you get another 8 direct referrals,
Exactly.
Not counting what you get on your advertising and everything else.
Exactly.
So, and then they're coming in, those referrals are coming in for Fit in 42.
Not always Fit in 42. They could just be a regular large group membership. That's where we give them that 30-day VIP membership. So they get to try. Their friend gets to come in for the month.
Okay. And then what membership, like the Fit in 42 people, what membership do you drive them to, or do they usually go to after Fit in 42?
Surprisingly enough, they tend to go to our lowest, the team training, the large group. We've noticed we'll get maybe 1 out of each group that'll do 1 time a week small group. And that's what kind of drove me to change how we were doing our alumni coming back through, because that's where they were jamming up our small groups. With Fit in 42, they're doing small group Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then Tuesday, Thursday, they're in their we call it the general population. They're doing a combat workout. And then Saturday, everybody comes together. But what was happening is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, there wasn't enough of me to go around. I can't have 12 people at our 5:15 session. That's not giving a quality of training there.
Gotcha.
So people are staying they're paying a smaller price point this time for a reset program, staying at their current membership rate, but they're getting the nutrition. I'm looking at their food every day. And it's working amazing for us this time around. They're already over 200. I think it was 209 point some pounds this week, and it's the end of week 4 for them that they've already lost.
That's impressive. My question is like, why do you think they're going to that lower price point and not the small group?
That's what I can't figure it out. And maybe I should just ask them flat out the reason why. I'm not sure what the reason is there. Our last time through, we started the Strong program, which is small group based. So some of them were team training members already, but they're paying the $300 on top of that to go do small group twice a week for 6 weeks after. So we are getting some of that. So that does throw off some of our numbers. It's another short-term way for them to get small group, not commit to a year to that price point. I think it's the energy, though. I still keep going. It might be the wrong reason, but I think it's the energy of the large group. That's what they're drawn to, because they form that bond. Because we did actually lose a lot of our semi-private clients. Actually downgraded their memberships to team for that reason.
Okay, interesting. So do you think they don't see the value, or is there not enough difference in what you do in the small group versus the large group? And so they don't see the value in it? Do you think that could be?
I do think that could be part of the problem as well. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why we've revamped our small group to kind of change how the session is run, the timing of how it's run, and the programming of it as well. We're keeping some things that you will never see in team into that small group. I think the training programs were too similar, like you were saying.
Okay, gotcha. All right, well, I'll be interested to see how that works out. And the other thing I was thinking when you were saying, because you started that Strong program, it could be like they think, well, I can just do this Strong program a couple of times a year versus doing like consistent, weekly small group.
Exactly.
And that could be actually in the long term hurting your small group.
Exactly.
Do you think that could be the case as well? Or
the case as well, yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And then some of our clients too have since we had Fit in 42, we've actually started obstacle course racing. So a lot of our Fit in 42 clients, to get their medal, that's part of it, to do 5K, to do a 10K obstacle course. So we do mud runs and savage races. And a lot of our clients will pay extra to do the savage race on Saturdays, the training program.
What is the savage race?
It's similar to like a Spartan race.
And you guys put that on?
No, we don't put it on. We actually enter teams. So the last 2 times, we've actually had 20 participants.
Okay, and that's part of the requirement of the Fit in 42.
It's not a part of the requirement, but to get their medal. Have you seen the Fit in 42 medal?
Yeah, it's like a MISPA.
Exactly, that trifecta medal. To get that end of that trifecta, you have to do something like that.
Interesting. So it's the dangling carrot. Got it. I like that.
Exactly. And for some of our clients, it's something they didn't think they could ever do, or they have family members that say you can never do it, and it's a huge, hey, fuck you! Look, I did it. Badass now. I can do it. They didn't think they could do a pull up, or they could hang, or to even get through the race itself. So it's a nice. That's rewarding too, and that goes right back to the culture of it. Then you have that support system there.
Okay, yeah, I like that. I like that quite a bit. So, from a business model standpoint, the Fit in 42 is really integrated into your business model. So, before we started recording, you made an interesting point. You said this year you're running 4 Fit in 42 programs. You said last year you ran 3. And that was a mistake.
Yes.
Can you share that again with the listeners, why you think that was a mistake?
So we took the summer off. We didn't run. Typically, July is a very slow month for us because of the beach area. But we lost our momentum. So we ran January and April. We skipped July and then went to September. When it came around to September, I don't do a whole lot of Facebook marketing. I don't put a lot of money into there, the funnels and all that. We didn't have that referral base coming out of July the posts weren't on Facebook as much. It was top of mind awareness, probably is the biggest reason there. We didn't have that clientele in Fit in 42. And then also, why not run Fit in 42 and get $3,000 out of 3 people? That's going to lead into more business down the road, because we actually pay the clients. If they refer somebody for Fit in 42, we give them $100. So every time they refer, that's also a big motivating factor for them with Fit in 42 to referral.
So how do you pay them that $100? Is it a credit off their membership, or is it you cut them a check?
But one or the other. Depends what they want. Some of the clients they buy shakes every day. They buy apparel, so they'll just use it towards that. And then other clients, we just cut them a check.
Got it.
Another great thing with Fit in 42 is we do have a shake bar. So these clients are getting shakes 6 days a week. So we noticed our shake numbers, our goal was 500 a month, and we're now over 700 a month. So that's a huge jump up in there. In supplemental business, you're talking, $2,500, $3,000 a month coming in just through shakes. Yeah. Or they're buying the supplements. They're buying the protein powder to take home, because we sell that too. Like, I don't know what the numbers of that is off the top of my head, but it's another avenue for revenue.
So that opens up a whole bunch of questions. So who helped you set up? You run that shake bar yourself?
We do. We use Performance Foods, but we mostly go through Fit in 42 protein. So we have a whey-based option, and then we have a plant-based option. So we use Performance Foods for some of our stuff as well.
So you buy that right from Casey and Jerry?
Yes. Yep.
Nice. Way to go, Casey. So, and then how do you indoctrinate? How do you get your clients to drink in the shakes? Do you give them a free shake? Do you talk about it? How do you direct them over there to say, hey, you need a shake? For
the Fit in 42 clients, it's in their meal plan. Every meal number 3 or snack number 3 is always a shake. You're going to have that no matter what time of day you work out. AM, PM, that's going to be that snack number 3. You can either get them here. We're going to give you a sample. And during our orientation, we give them samples of the shakes.
Uh-huh.
And then also we give them a free shake. And then you can either buy a shake card, or you can buy the protein and take it home and make it yourself. Either way, you're going to be having this shake after you work out.
Nice.
And then back to the toilet paper analogy that Casey used. You don't buy your protein where you buy toilet paper. So we really educate the client of the type of protein they're using, make sure it's not a shitty protein.
Right.
You know, don't buy your protein the same place like Walmart, you buy your toilet paper.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Because it's really incredibly crappy protein.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get. It really takes an educational effort to teach your clients that difference.
Yeah.
That I have found anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's with Fit in 42, that's our first seminar. That week 1 seminar is label reading. So we sit down and would you feed this to your kids? I'll give them ingredients and who's had this? Would you ever eat this? And they're like, no, I've never had that. Well, that's coffee creamer. That's your protein powder.
Nice. So you do an educational seminar every week?
Every Saturday. Yep.
Every Saturday for the 6 weeks.
Yep.
And
so all this, because they might be working out at 5:15 in the morning, 6 p.m. They're at various times during the day. But then Saturday, they all come together for a workout at 6:30. And then we have the educational right after.
Got it. Okay. And how long is that?
That's loaded. 45 minutes to an hour and a half. It just depends.
Okay.
It really depends. And that first week we take them grocery shopping. That Sunday I meet them at the grocery store and we go around the grocery store and apply what they learned that very first day.
Okay. Awesome. So it really is pretty invasive into their life.
Yeah.
Got it. So, and then that creates, so not only is that a cash flow from people signing up, but then it creates your year-round referral base. So you have, your monthly EFT, and then you have your Fit in 42. So if you were to break it down, just ballpark it, what percentage of your total annual revenue do you think is from EFT versus Fit in 42?
I'd say Fit in 42 is right around a third because we're sitting about 350. I think we were like 350,000 we brought in last year. So it's sitting about a third.
A third of your revenue from Fit in 42. Yeah. And that's not counting the referrals.
Exactly.
That's just straight revenue.
Yep.
Got it. Okay. Interesting. Awesome. All right. Well, I've learned a lot from you, Missy. I really have on how to incorporate that and why it works so well for you, because that was why I was so curious, because it's all in the implementation. Because I know when, and Tim Lyons told me this, and I found it to be really true, is that you can have the best marketing campaign in the world, but if you don't have a system to take care of them once they come into your business, then you're just throwing away money, right?
Exactly.
So you told us the Fit in 42. Well, you've told us your marketing system. You've told us your Fit in 42. Do you have like a retention system in place, or does the Fit in 42 kind of cover that?
It covers a good portion of it, but that is, once they become a client, they're getting assigned to another coach for accountability, that they're checking in monthly, quarterly. If they don't show after a week, we're contacting them, texting them, where are you? But we've also incorporated me into that too. I originally was taking all the Fit in 42 clients, but now that we've had so many classes come through, it was too much for me to keep track of those clients. So I've kind of handed off those, and then I'm just a double coach checking in on where are you at with your goals? Because that was one of our systems we didn't have in place before. Are we meeting with them? Did they need a new strength goal? Did they need a nutrition goal? Did they need a body fat? They need something new. And that's where the Strong program kind of came from, because our clients were like, I don't need to lose any more weight. I did Fit in 42. Now what? What do I do now? I just want to be strong and badass. So that's why we started that Strong program. So it might hurt our monthly EFT, but I think in the long term, it might not hurt us as much, because those clients are stronger and referring more people, because everywhere they go. One of our clients had a job interview 2 weeks ago. They didn't talk to her. They didn't interview her at all. They interviewed her about Dun Dun. That's kind of cool.
That is cool. And it helps keep them as a client longer.
Exactly.
So that increases your revenue.
Increasing the height of that fence, because we didn't used to have a fence. You can kind of come and go as you want.
Okay. When you say height of the fence, what does that mean?
Well, how high you can go, because basically you're kind of making that fence a little bit tighter around protecting your clients, and then also making it a little bit higher. If they feel that you're there for them, they're going to stick around a little bit longer. I think that's one more thing. We do monthly members. We did a drag show. Our clients are even hosting our monthly parties now. We did a ugly sweater party. our clients hosted. We did what was supposed to be a bonfire and ended up raining the whole weekend, like a Halloween. So now even our clients are jumping in, pool party. Let's have it at my house. It's kind of neat to see the clients. And that's just another way of back to that culture where really putting that fence around your clients and building that culture that they want to be here. They want to have fun.
Yeah, I like that. I like that term too, fence. It's such a good mental picture.
That's a Cosgrove one.
It's a what?
That's Cosgrove? That's that's
okay,
a one.
Okay. And then I always wrap up with some questions. So I'm going to fire these questions. Have you listened to the podcast before?
Just once or twice, yes.
Okay. That's not what I want to hear, Missy.
Yeah, I know.
You should be. I need you to be a regular subscriber. Yeah. Leave a 5-star review. Come on now.
Yeah.
But my first question for you is what do you think? And I think you've already answered this, but we'll go over it again. What has been your most successful failure? And by that, what at the time seemed like a devastating, colossal loss that you wouldn't be able to recover from, but you were able to take lessons from that propelled you to greater success down the road?
I think it was a combination of the buyout and losing the entire staff all at one time. I think that definitely was a learning experience that I hadn't faced before.
And what did you learn from that? What lessons did you take from that helped you become more successful later?
Systems in place and getting my shit straight that I needed to be happy as well. Because if I'm not happy, nobody's going to be happy.
Now that's an interesting question because I'm real big on that. So what does that mean? What does that mean to you?
Because I was miserable. I was tired. I was stressed. Now that I have, I can be there for the clients more. I'm mentally more refreshed. There's systems are in place so I can do other things. If I want to work from home, I can work from home and not feel that I need to be here. It's refreshing. Because if I'm miserable, you're going to know. I'm a straight up Capricorn, uptight type A woman. You're going to know if I'm not happy. Yeah,
it bleeds over into everything. So what are some of the things
here,
Yeah. So what are some of the things that you do to take care of you?
That time out, taking a time out now. And also I go home now. I actually, in the evenings, I'll plug in my phone. I'll go upstairs, change, and actually plug in my phone. I don't feel like I need to be responding to emails and Facebook messages at 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. It can wait till the next morning. Not waking up the next day, getting on my phone instantly and being pissed off because you get an email and something annoys you right off the bat. I get annoyed easy too, so nothing like 4:05 and you're already pissed off.
Yeah, well, and I think that's just the life of a business owner.
Yeah,
it really is, because those are the things that kind of keep you up at night.
But yeah, taking time for me was definitely the biggest thing.
Okay, gotcha. All right, awesome. That's a great answer. My next question is, in the time that you've been in the fitness industry, and you've been in training a long time, what has been the biggest surprise that you've had to deal with that you did not see coming?
Biggest surprise? I don't know how to answer that one. Biggest surprise? I think the changeover. Just in the clientele, going from seeing that quick change, I feel like the one-on-one training died out so quickly. And it went from one-on-one to small group, 30-minute sessions, and then became more nutrition-based. I think I didn't think nutrition would be so much the focus of the fitness industry. And I think that's the key to success for us right now is a little bit more nutrition. Because they can beat themselves to death, but they're not changing that. And changing who they really are and tackling some of those demons. They're never going to change.
Yeah, the old adage, you can't out-exercise a bad diet.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, awesome. And then what are the last 3 books that you read?
Oh, I don't read. I'm horrible. I am horrible.
So then let me ask you this. How do you learn about stuff? Learn about new things.
Podcasts like this. I have done some books on audio. That's one way I can get through road trips or flying on the plane, just listening through that way. I'm dyslexic and have learning comprehension issues. So reading a book has always been more of a torture. I guess you could say.
Exercise and frustration.
I don't really retain it anyway, so I always got frustrated that way.
Okay.
There's all those James Clear books I've listened to. What's the one about not giving a fuck? That's one of my. That's one of the last ones I listened to. And that was probably the one that kind of set home a little bit. Struck home.
Is that the subtle art of not giving a fuck?
That is the one. Yep.
Okay. So what did you learn from that?
Not everything really matters. Not everything's going to be perfect. That's one of the things I always try to make everything perfect. It's not always going to be perfect. You can't control everything. I'm a control freak. You can't control everything.
Yeah.
You have to let go a little bit.
Yeah. Otherwise, your anxiety level just goes through the roof.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that was one of the things was bringing in staff that have a little different personality types than I have, because I am uptight, form conscious. Bringing in somebody who's a little bit more fun and upbeat or loud. That's not one of my fortes either. Something the large groups take every bit of energy I have out of me. It's not my forte.
Yeah, no. It's good to know your strengths. So what are some of the regular podcasts you listen to other than Masters in Fitness Business podcasts?
Oh, you want to hear me say? I'm going to say Casey's now, right? Casey's got the Fit in 42 life.
All right. So you listen to that on a regular basis?
I do, yeah.
And what do you get out of that?
Different mindsets. It might be trimming the fat. It might be looking at it from a different perspective of another business owner or from a client. This last couple have been a little bit more client focused. Maybe giving the clients a little different information than from my perspective. Okay.
All right. And then give me one other either book on tape or podcast that you listen to
I don't know what the one's called. I know the one I just listened to was Alan Cosgrove. I'm not sure who did that one.
Okay. What was it about?
So, what was it? I'm trying to remember. I just listened to it last week too. The evolution of training, how things have changed. The reason he got into what he got into as well. With his mom dying very young. So it was a little bit interesting on that one. I didn't realize that's how he got into this.
So he went into his why.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
He did nutrition, but he learned in college, and his mom still died because it didn't work on her. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay. I'll have to check some of those out.
Yeah.
And then is there like a final message that you want to get out to the listeners or to your clients or your staff?
I think that it changes. As long as you put your heart into it, you can definitely change your clients' lives. And I think Fit in 42 is a game changer as far as people's lives. It changed my life, it changed my business, and it saved my business. I think it's almost a must because it's really hitting every avenue of what a beginner client or somebody coming into fitness looking to make a change needs. I wish every client could start with Fit in 42. Even if you only have 3 pounds to lose, it's still going to be, there's a reason you need to lose those 3 pounds, or your why might be different. We got a client battling, stage 3 cancer right now. Her why is totally different, but she's saying the program saved her life too. It's giving her a battle. But
I was just going to say, where can people get in touch with you if they want to find more information out, all that good stuff?
Yep. donedonefitness.com. And then we have our cell phone numbers, 443-993-7857. It's easy.
Right. A brave woman giving out the cell phone number.
Yeah, exactly. It's the gym number. We're all good.
Okay, good. All right. Well, Missy, this has been awesome. I've learned a ton, and it sounds like you're doing a great job up there. So I look forward to seeing you around, hopefully, soon. And thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Have a great one.
You too.